So today what I want to do is cover basically three areas in looking at using iPads to enhance collaboration. Polleverwhere I want to show you very quickly. That's a really cool web tool that you can use. It's very instant, so you can use it straight away. I want to just do a little bit with Google Drive and Google Docs, Google Drive and Google Docs. Just show you how you can use that effectively in the classroom. And then I've got a list of collaborative apps that I've been building up over a period of time. So they're really focused on using the iPad and using that to collaborate between groups of students in the classroom. So, what I want to do is show you this polleverwhere. Now, polleverwhere is free if you want to use 40 people. So if you've got a class of less than 40, you can use it for free. And the nice thing is that it's instant. So if you go to the website, so feel free if you want to do this now, you can actually go to, actually I'll do this part and then I'll get you to do the poll. So if you go to polleverwhere.com, it brings up this live audience participation. And I can create a poll straight away. So if I tap in on create poll, sit down, I can, video just explains how it works, but if you scroll down below, I haven't signed in, all I've done is gone to the website. I can do things like, what day is it today? Okay. So I can create and review. And I want that to be multiple choice. So you'll see now it says, what day is it today? Multiple choice. I can come up here now and change that. And I can say things like Monday, Tuesday. I'm going to go, that's it. I can add another answer as well. So I might just put in Wednesday. Okay, so once I've done that, I'll show you the multiple choice first of all, because that's nice and easy. So it's just www.polleverwhere.com. I've gone and create a poll. Down the bottom here it says I've reviewed the poll, go ahead and create it. I can also add another poll to that, but at this stage what I'll just do is do the one. Now, what it does is creates this poll. And it's really simple to use in that you've got two options. You can either use your phone and text this number with your answer, or if you go to polleverwhere.com, so if you've got an iPad, if you want to go to Safari and go to poll.ev, just up the top there, if you put in poll.ev.com, and then all you need to do, it'll look something like this. And what you need to do is first of all, all you have to do for this case is put in your answer code. So the answer code is this number here. So if you put in one of those answers, that answer code, at poll, I'll just go back to it. So if you go to polleverwhere.com, and then in here you're just going to put that answer code that you've selected. So in this case, probably going to choose Tuesday. So you put in 176643. Okay. So you'll see, there we go. So we've had two responses already. So by putting that in, it instantly puts that information in. So if someone puts in a code 176643 for Tuesday, which is tomorrow, we'll see what happens then. But how it works is a code. So that code is unique to my quiz that I've just created. So very quickly in class, you can have this collaborative sort of interaction with your students at the start of a lesson, thanks mate, or at the end of the lesson to ask a question about how things are going. I'll show you another example. So once I've finished that, I can go stop polling. And let me go right back to the start. We'll do a multiple choice this time. So all it is I'll just do a quick search. Poll everywhere. First one. And again, you can have a paid version, but that's if you're doing more than 40 in a class, or more than 40 responses at once. So all I'm going to do is go create poll. Again, there's a video that explains how it works, we're not worried about that. We're just going to go to the poll question. My question is, what are you doing? So, here's my question. I am going to now review and create it. And it's going to ask me whether I want an open-ended or a multiple choice. This time I'm going to choose open-ended so that anyone can put their whatever information they want. So I'm just going to go, I've reviewed the poll, go ahead and create down the bottom. Now this time what you need to do is you still go to that poll.ev But first of all, you need to put in this code here. So 176687, leave a space, and then put in your information. So you type in 176687, and then space, and then going to New York, going to Sunshine Coast. And then what will happen is that will start filling up your information here. So any student has an iPad, or you can do this outside of school with mobile phones if you wanted to do something. Again, same approach. What they do is text a message to that number. So 176687 space, and then that information. So that's at polleverwhere.com. So polleverwhere.com will tell you that, oh, going to the coast, watching Hawthorn win the grand final. Awesome. Now the negatives of this is that it doesn't give you who put that information in. So you may need to watch how you set this up. They can add multiple times, so you can go back and add more information. But as a collaborative way of getting students' information across really quickly and easily, what I created at my desk this then is how quickly it takes to put that information up. So to create the poll, instantaneous. If you really get into this too, you can embed them into PowerPoints or Keynotes as well. So there is some software you can download so that you can have a Keynote going or a PowerPoint, and you can embed these questions so it automatically fills into your PowerPoint. So if you're interested in that, there's some more information. If you just go to polleverwhere.com, you'll find out more information how that works as well. Look, is there any questions about Poll Everywhere? I just wanted to share. This tool is just a real quick way of getting some collaboration happening in the classroom. Not only formative assessment, but any sort of assessment throughout the lesson as well. Okay. The other thing I want to show you today is looking at Google Drive and some of the things you can do with Google Drive. So you probably have done a bit within staff meetings and things like that. The Drive app itself has been improved. So within the app Google Drive, it's got a lot more power than what it would if you do it just in Safari. So if you download the Google Drive app, you'll find it's got a lot of potential what you can do with it. In this case, I've got a folder that I've created just for this afternoon using iPads to enhance collaboration. What I can do within the app now on my iPad is share that with you guys as well. So by tapping on the little arrow on the top right hand side, I can tap here and I can start adding people's names. So if I go off my list here.
Is it under who has access?
Right now, yeah, so the app, so I've created these documents in Google Drive. And if you want me to, I can show you how to do that at another time, or I can give you some documents, how to create those documents. Once it's in Google Drive, you can then share it. So some of these documents can be a PDF, they can be a Word document, they can also be a Google document itself or a Google Doc. In this case, I'm using Google Doc so that you guys can access them and do things with them as well. Okay, so again, what I'm doing is just going through the list of people that are here. You can do this in your class. You might even create a class before, like a list, a folder. You can create a folder. So what I'm doing is sharing a folder with you guys. And that folder you might do is as a class folder. So you create a class folder, and in that folder there's collaborative work that people can work on. So what I've done now is I've added those. So you should now have access, once I've saved it, you'll see these people come up into my folder. You should get an email, you'll probably hear that beeping. That gives you access to this folder. So within that email, if you click on the email, that'll open up these shared documents. The thing I can also do is you'll notice here, like Rob, he can edit. If I tap on Rob's name, I can change that so he can only view it. So if you've got a class of students and you just want them to view some documents that you've created, you change that to view. If you want them to collaborate within that space, you would put it as, you can edit it as well. So hopefully you've got access to this folder now, for those that have. Now within that folder, if you click on the email, it will open up the Google, probably in Safari, which is okay, that's fine too. What you should be able to do is, there's two documents that I've created. One's called iPad Educational Sites Collaboration. And the other one is, what we want to look at now, is what's being used in teaching and learning. If you tap on that one, the reason it sends an email, and it's almost like you have to approve, you click on the email to approve that document.
So I go add to Drive.
Add to Drive, yeah. And then open in Drive. Hopefully that'll open up. The way I created this document, this is a Word document, and all I did with that Word document was upload it to Google, and then when it was in Google, I changed it to when you upload it, it gives you the option to convert it to a Google Doc. The reason why I converted it to a Google Doc, troubles today, is that you want it to be able to be editable. If it's a Word document, it's just like a storage, so you can't change it or modify it. With a Google Doc, if you convert it to a Google Doc, it gives you the freedom where you can collaborate and have other people work on that one document. So in here, what's being used in teaching and learning, creating a collaborative learning area, I've just made it, look, this is really quick, I'll just read through it. Instructions on the following few slides will be a link to a website that you will be asked to explore. During the exploration, you will be asked to complete the slide in this presentation related to that website. This is a collaborative document, so all people will be accessing and editing this at the same time. At the end of the process, you can take a copy of that file. So because you have access to that file in Google Drive, you now are an editor, you have access to it. But you've got to think of it as a single document. So even though everyone has access to that document, it is just the one document that everyone's accessing. So if you make a change, it makes a change on everyone else's version. The nice thing about Google Docs is that it does give you history. So if you ever find a student's come in and modified some of your text that you didn't want to modify, there is a history button, and because the students have to sign in under their B0 number, you can see who's made those changes. The other nice thing about Google Docs is that if it's a collaborative task and they're being marked on it, you can see very clearly who's been working on what. So there's a way that you can see via the file tool on your computer to show you who's been accessing and who's been putting that information in. So to show you how it all works, within Google Drive, the app, I can now click on the text and you'll see it says open link. So this is the document that I was talking about. If, for instance, I go over here, I'm going to open it up in Safari. What it's going to do is open up that link that I've created. In this case, I'm getting you to have a look at the flipped classroom and have a quick look through there. You don't have to worry about that at this stage, but what I will get you to do, if you've got this on your page, on the first one, the flipped classroom, key features of this website, you'll see it's got a little green bullet. Can I get you just to type something in there? And just so I can show you how instant that is. So if I start typing, oh, there's Linda, so you'll see it's come up pink, so Linda's about to type. So if someone else comes in, now, one of the tricky things is that because multiple people are accessing it, you will find that, oh, there's Linda's typing. If I go to type now, I may have to press enter. So you see I've entered Linda's work. So the trick is sort of timing it. Even though other people are accessing it, I can come down here, put in a second bullet. Now Linda's one below me. Okay. So multiple people can access. And the other trick is, and you find this probably in staff meetings that we've done before, is that when other people are accessing it once, I can jump in mid their sentence as well. So think of it as an editor, but multiple editors at once. So the nice thing about Google Drive is that it gives you the opportunity to not only embed those the links. So like I said, you can click here, tap on it, it'll take you to the website so they can read about it, learn about it. Then you can come back here and have this collaborative space. So what you're doing is getting other people to share their knowledge within that one document. And that's available for everyone in that group. So in a class setting, the way you'd use this is you create a folder, if you wanted to, or a document, and then you'd share it with that class list. So you'd put in 08, MAT, year 8 maths class. That would share it with every student in that maths class, and they'd have access to that document. And again, it's getting their ideas down and across the page. Great way if you have questions at the start of a lesson or at the end of the lesson as well. If students are a bit shy about putting their hands up or asking questions, this is kind of like a forum. You can sort of set up as a forum as well. So students can ask forums and not necessarily show who's put that in. So Linda's put that first information up there, but right now you wouldn't know that's her work. On my computer, if I logged into my computer, I could go back to the history and see that that's her work that she's added in. The other thing is within the Google app, the Google Drive app, you've got this viewable section. When it's in view mode, it just makes it locked down so it doesn't you can't change the text. If I go to edit, it gives me the ability to edit. If I go to my document here, this is my document. Because I've created it, you'll see it says here I'm the owner. For example, I can come down here and just make James just a viewer. So he can just view it, or he can just make a comment on it. So what that means is now James, if I can view, James could not type anything in there. I can create that document multiple times as well. So, but on a computer, you can go to File and make a copy. So you create the document once, make a copy. You might make 5 copies and then give that to 5 groups. And then in each of those groups, you'd share that group document 1 with those 5 students, document 2 with those 5 students. It's kind of like handing out a handout, but it's an electronic version. And what it means is that you have instant access to their work, so you can be sitting at your desk and seeing what each of the 5 groups are working on. At the same time, you can see which students have added their details in as well. The other option you can do is make a copy of it as well. So let's say you said you want to have a record of week 2, week 5, week 6 of their work. What you do at week 2 is make a copy, file, make a copy on your computer, and that keeps a record of that. So you have to name it, week 2. So you've got a record of their work on week 2. Then you do the same thing, make a copy in week 5, and then you keep a record of that one there as well. So what you'd have 5 or 6 documents, all the same, but it's a progression across. The other way that you can do it, if you don't want to do it that way, is go through the history. So file history or revision, and within that revision you can see who's been making those changes with the date stamp on there as well. Definitely. The other thing you can do is copy and paste as well. So if you could get them working on the one document, their own separate document, and then at the end of the lesson on week 2 or whatever, you can go create a new document, and then that group copies, and you give them access. Everyone in the whole class has access to the one document. They can copy that part, stick it in the first part, the second group, third group, so you have one document. So what you're trying to do is not necessarily you give the kids all the work to do. So instead of, you just create the document, and then the students move their work across. Yeah. So what you get then is you say, okay, last week I got you in groups to decide on, come up with as many ideas as you want. This week what I'll get you to do is choose your best 3, and I'm going to get you to paste into this one document that we all share together. So you can do things like that as well. Yeah, and Google Docs gives you that freedom that you can do that. The last thing I want to show you today is just some of the apps that are available. This is just a screen grab of my iPad and some of the apps that I've played with. In that Google document, that Google Drive that I've shared with you, the second document within that folder, iPad Educational App Sites, Collaborative version 2. What I've done, I've tried to simplify now. It's not in any order, because it's sort of a growing list over a period of time when new apps become available. On here, I can do a couple of things on the app itself. I can open another app, so at the top right-hand side, I can go open in another app and save that PDF. But very quickly, what I've tried to do is just give you a bit of a brief on what it's about. These links here will take you directly to the App Store where you can download it. I've also added prices. So SyncSpace is one of the apps that we've got students to download. It's the free version. What it does allow you to do is do 3 drawings. Whereas if you pay the $8.49, you have unlimited drawings. So what it means is within SyncSpace, I can share with somebody next to me, and we can be drawing on the one document or the one piece of work. That's great in classroom, so I can be working with someone next to me and working on the one document. The power of that is if you want to work with someone on the other side of the world, you have that same ability because it's based on Wi-Fi. Not only is it in the classroom, but you can be working with someone on the other side of the world working on the document. So this is where this collaboration, not only can you use collaboration on the iPad by just going, let's work on the one document together, but it means if you can tee it up with someone else anywhere in the world or other schools in Australia or Queensland, you can be working on the same document at the same time. A lot of these tools will give you the option as well as having like a comment bank or a chat area as well. So not only can you work on your iPad with someone else in the world, but you can be talking to them as well and just saying, look, I'm thinking about this, this makes sense to put on this document, and having that conversation. So it's not necessarily a loud classroom because a lot of it is touch typed through. So this is kind of just a list, and I'll make this available as well. One's there, like Groupboard's free. It's like a whiteboard where multiple people can access it, up to 5 collaborators at a time. So I've just tried to give you a little bit of information about how it works. This one's interesting. I really love this one. Collaboracam. It's a paid app, so it doesn't mean, it makes it a little bit harder if you want to use it in the classroom with students. but it means that I can use one iPad to film and the other person uses their iPad to direct that iPad basically. So one will talk to the other so that it's almost like the director and the producer and they're helping direct that camera and tell them what to do. So what it does is I could be standing there, I'll be the person filming it, and on my screen my director's typing up here and saying, you need to move to the left a little bit more, and things like that. So it's that collaborative, automatic talking to each other, so it's not interrupting the shoot and those sort of things. So that's quite an interesting one. Explain everything. This sort of falls into the collaboration space, but it's also that flipped classroom idea where what you can do as a teacher, and this probably makes the most sense, is you as a teacher, when you're in class taking a lesson, on the board, you're doing it on your iPad, and everything you say, and everything, which I can show you, probably easy just to show you this one. So if I go to collaboration, explain everything, there's quite a few of these. I'm just going to go add a new one. So there's a little record button. So what it does is it records my vocals as well as what I'm adding in. So if I hit record, then I've got all these tools over here. You might find a stylus might work better. You can do add text. So here I can type it in here. I can add images. I can add diagrams. I can zoom in. There's a whole lot of things that you can add. And what it does is it records that information as you go along. So if I just press the stop button now, I'll just turn it up. And if I press play, now I've got all these tools over here. You might find a stylus. So that records what I'm doing as a teacher directly. This is great if you're doing maths. So a lot of the maths teachers in the senior school are using this now. Or similar sort of things where they can type or write their maths equations, talk their way through that maths equation, and add that information. Now, not necessarily collaborative in the sense that more than one person's accessing it or added to it, but what it is doing is allowing you as a teacher to share that information that you've taught so other students can reflect on it, students that are away can access that as well.
Do they need that app to be able to access
No.
it, or how do you then send it to them? Can you email that as an attachment, or?
Yeah, so what it does,
You can export to movie or camera.
yeah, it converts it to a movie. So in this case, because I wanted a video, I can save it as a camera, save it to the camera roll as a movie, then I can email it if it's small, or move it to StudyWiz and make it, add it in the area there that they can access the video. You'll notice here it's got Google Drive as well. So you could put in Google Drive and then share that folder with your class as well.
Oh, and I'll see this Dropbox here.
Yeah, so if you're using Dropbox or Evernote, there's a few there as well. So the power of that is that you're working on a document, but then you're able to share that with students. And then they can make comments and those sort of things as well. So if you're using StudyWiz, the nice thing with StudyWiz is if you upload it to StudyWiz, then you can have students commenting on that video. Or saying, I don't understand that, and then replying back to you as well. With this one too, you can have multiple pages. So you'll see it says slide 1.
Yeah.
So you can go information, slide 2 information, slide 3 information, and you record it, just like a video. So it's just hitting this button here. Not only is it recording your voice, but it's recording what you're doing as well. The other thing you can do is have students create these as well. So you can flip it and then have students, you know, if the kid can explain themselves and teach, this is a powerful tool. This is a paid one.
They've actually said on TEDx, sometimes I watch their talks, that the most effective way of teaching is actually that the students explain to each other how it is done, and it's 80%
Definitely.
intake.
Yeah.
It's very high. So I use that when I teach grammar structures, and sometimes when I come into the classroom and say, please explain to each other how do you do this, and I think that tool is just really excellent. Because you can use the arrows and circles and...
Oh, there's a lot more. You can add images from your, you know, so if you've got an image that you've got on your camera roll or, you know, a document there, you can add it in.
So how long can you actually use
I haven't come across a time where, like, as far as I know, it'll just go until you run out of space on your iPad. Again, these sort of things too, you probably find kids, students, you know, if it goes any longer than 14, 15 minutes, they're going to start tuning in anyway. So you really want to keep it at maybe 5-minute segments at the most, because you can have multiple ones. The thing is too, you can add it to StudyWiz, put it in an area, and then give it a name. You know, this is, you know, section A.
So I just
demonstrations.
Collaborate.
Yeah, so this one's called
Explain.
Explain Everything.
Okay.
Dosseri is another one. That's a free one. I haven't played too much with this one, but again, very similar. So in that case, you could get the students explaining, like we were sort of saying, the 80%.
Yeah.
Have the students, I need to understand how to do maths equations. How do we do it? Get the students to explain it and put it here so you have a bank. So group them up, or every student in the class has an area that they work on. They create this educational tool that is available in one area. Students can access that to learn about it. So you're collaborating in that the other students are sharing their knowledge with what's. You'll find, like, if you do a search in the App Store, a lot of these I've just played around with because I found it. So if you go to the App Store, just at the top, you can type in things like collaboration, or you can type in the word flip. Because a lot of the terminology now is talked about flipped classroom, where you pass through some of those. Lots of flip games. But the flipped classroom is that idea where you cover some of the content at home, and then in class you have more time for the collaboration, the higher order thinking. So you're covering the content, the sort of stuff that's the talk and talk stuff up the front, where you can do this video now at home, so that when the kids come to school, they have time to ask questions, or they have time to experiment with those ideas. So that's the flipped classroom.